Florence. A city that has long been a beacon of art, culture, and history. Nestled in the heart of Tuscany, Florence is a place where the past and present blend seamlessly, creating an atmosphere that is both enchanting and timeless. A city of art, beauty, romance. Its streets are lined with masterpieces, its air filled with the whispers of history. From the grandeur of the Uffizi Gallery to the serene beauty of the Boboli Gardens, Florence is a city that captivates the soul. But a darkness lurked beneath its charming facade. As the sun set and the shadows grew long, the city transformed. The same streets that bustled with life during the day became eerie and foreboding at night. A monster stalked the night. In the quiet of the countryside, where the only sounds were the rustling of leaves and the distant call of an owl, an unseen terror prowled. The picturesque landscapes that inspired countless artists became the hunting grounds for a sinister presence. Its hunting ground, the picturesque Tuscan countryside. Lovers, beware. The rolling hills and winding roads, once symbols of romance and tranquility, now held a dark secret. Couples who sought solace in the embrace of nature found themselves in the crosshairs of a relentless predator. This is the chilling tale of the monster of Florence, a story that has haunted the city for decades, leaving a trail of fear and mystery in its wake. The monster's reign of terror began in the late 1960s, casting a long dark shadow over the city. The year was 1968. Florence was a city in the midst of a cultural renaissance, its streets alive with the energy of a new era. But beneath the surface, something sinister was brewing. A young couple lay slain in their car, their lives cut short in a brutal and senseless act of violence. The peaceful countryside, once a haven for lovers, had become a scene of horror, a seemingly random act of violence. But as the investigation unfolded, it became clear that this was no isolated incident. The monster had struck before, and it would strike again. Little did anyone know it was only the beginning. The monster's reign of terror would span years, leaving a trail of fear and devastation in its wake. The once idyllic countryside was now a place of dread. This first gruesome act would cast a long shadow over the city. The people of Florence, once carefree and full of life, now lived in fear. The monster's presence was felt in every corner of the city. Fear seeped into the once vibrant streets. The bustling markets, the lively cafes, the crowded piazzas, all were touched by the monster's shadow. Florence, a city of light and beauty, was now a city gripped by terror. The 1970s arrived. The killings continued. The victims, always young couples, always in parked cars, shrouded by the darkness of the Tuscan night. The monster, as the press dubbed him, became a macabre legend. Panic gripped Florence. Whispers of the monster filled cafes and piazzas. The police were baffled. The killings were brutal, intimate, and seemingly random. The monster chose his victims carefully, leaving no trace behind. Years passed, punctuated by more murders. Each killing followed a chilling pattern. The same weapon, a .22 caliber pistol. The same mutilations, the same calling card left on the victims. The city of Florence was living a nightmare. The fear escalated with each attack. The once romantic countryside now felt sinister. Young love in the shadow of the monster became a dangerous game. The city held its breath, waiting for the next strike. The monster's calling card was the most disturbing aspect of the crimes. Each scene was a macabre tableau, meticulously arranged to send a message. The killer, known as Il Mostro di Firenze, was not just committing murders, he was orchestrating a symphony of terror. After each murder, he would take a souvenir. These were not random items, but carefully chosen tokens, each one a piece of the puzzle he was creating. The items ranged from personal belongings to more gruesome trophies. A body part, carefully removed with surgical precision. The precision suggested a level of medical knowledge, leading investigators to believe the monster had some form of surgical training. This added another layer of complexity to the case. The brutality shocked even seasoned investigators. Many had seen their share of violent crimes, but the monster's work was in a league of its own. The sheer savagery, combined with the methodical nature of the acts, left them both horrified and baffled. These trophies were more than just gruesome mementos. They were symbols of his dominance, each one a taunt to the authorities. The monster was playing a game, and he was always in control. They were a chilling message to the police, a sign of the monster's power and control. Each item left behind was a reminder of their failure to catch him, a psychological weapon that kept the investigators on edge. The investigators were no closer to finding him. Despite their best efforts, the monster remained elusive. Every lead seemed to end in a dead end, and every clue only deepened the mystery. He was always one step ahead, a phantom in the night. The monster's ability to evade capture was almost supernatural, leaving the investigators to wonder if they would ever be able to bring him to justice. The fear he instilled was not just in his victims, but in those who hunted him as well. Section 5. A trail runs cold. Years turned into decades. The investigation dragged on, a frustrating and fruitless endeavor. Leads appeared only to vanish like smoke. Suspects were questioned, but no concrete evidence emerged. The monster remained elusive. The lack of progress fueled public frustration and fear. The police seemed powerless to stop the killings. Was the monster a criminal mastermind? Or was it simply blind luck that kept him one step ahead of the law? Section 6. Whispers in the shadows. Theories abounded. Some whispered of a satanic cult performing ritualistic sacrifices. Others pointed to a lone madman driven by a dark obsession. The lack of a clear motive fueled the speculation. Amidst the fear and uncertainty, one thing was clear. The monster knew Florence. He navigated the countryside with ease, choosing his victims and vanishing without a trace. He was a phantom, a nightmare made flesh. Section 7. The monster's grip. The monster's reign of terror had a profound impact on Florence. Gone was the carefree spirit of the city. In its place, a palpable fear settled over the Tuscan hills. Parents forbade their children from going out at night. Lovers' lanes, once filled with laughter and romance, stood eerily empty. The monster had stolen the city's innocence, leaving behind a chilling void. Section 8. A city haunted. The last murder attributed to the monster of Florence occurred in 1985. After that, silence. The killings stopped as abruptly as they had begun. But the fear lingered. The monster of Florence was never caught. His identity remains a mystery to this day. Was he dead, in hiding, or had he simply moved on, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions? Section 9. Unanswered questions. The monster of Florence continues to fascinate and terrify. This elusive figure, shrouded in mystery, has left an indelible mark on the city and its people. For decades, the identity of this sinister presence has remained a topic of intense speculation and fear. The streets of Florence, with their rich history and stunning architecture, now carry an undercurrent of dread, a reminder of the horrors that once unfolded here. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most beautiful places. Florence, known for its art, culture, and beauty, also harbors secrets that are as dark as they are intriguing. The monster's reign of terror has cast a long shadow over the city, turning once peaceful streets into places of fear and suspicion. The juxtaposition of Florence's beauty with the horror of these unsolved crimes creates a haunting contrast. The case remains unsolved, a macabre puzzle with missing pieces. Despite numerous investigations, countless theories, and the passage of time, the true identity of the monster of Florence remains elusive. Each clue, each piece of evidence, seems to lead to more questions rather than answers. The detectives who have dedicated their lives to solving this case are left with a sense of frustration and a haunting sense of unfinished business. The question remains, who was the monster of Florence? Was he a lone madman, driven by dark impulses, or part of a more sinister conspiracy? Theories abound, ranging from the plausible to the fantastical, but none have provided a definitive answer. The mystery of his identity continues to captivate the imagination of those who seek to understand the depths of human evil. Perhaps one day the truth will emerge from the shadows. Advances in forensic science, new evidence, or a long-awaited confession could finally bring closure to this dark chapter in Florence's history. Until that day comes, the city remains in a state of uneasy anticipation, waiting for the moment when the final piece of the puzzle falls into place. Until then, his legend serves as a chilling reminder of the evil that men do. The monster of Florence is not just a figure of the past. He is a symbol of the darkness that can reside within the human soul. His story is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even in the most beautiful places, evil can find a way to thrive. As Florence continues to shine as a beacon of culture and history, the shadow of the monster lingers, a testament to the enduring power of unanswered questions.